Hello and welcome to Weekly MTG. We have a huge show for you today. So huge, it's just me talking to a screen. We have too much news, too much to reveal about the upcoming set, The Brothers War, that it's just going to be me talking at you, showing things on the screen, and we're going to do this for the entire show. I am so excited about The Brothers War. This is maybe we've done a lot of cool shows lately. We did the Warhammer debut. We did the Infinity debut. We've been doing a lot of really cool shows lately, and this might be my favorite or second favorite if you count next week's show. But we'll get to that later. We are going to talk all things to get you hyped for the upcoming set, The Brothers War, today. But first, we are going to share some news about a few other upcoming releases that might interest you. The first one is today we are releasing the full deck lists for the Pioneer Challenger decks. So there are 4 Pioneer Challenger decks coming November 4th. One of them is Dimir Control. As you see on your screen there, you got some Torrential Gearhulks, some Dig Through Times. I'm a big fan of Dig Through Timing with Torrential Gearhulk. A bunch of different removal and counters. So that is the Dimir Control list. By the way, all of these lists that we're going to show you will be available on DailyMTG.com. So take a screenshot if you want, but they'll also be available in text form on the interwebs right after this show. Next up, we have Gruul Stompy, full of cards that kill me all the time. So some Questing Beasts, some Chandra, Torch of Defiance, Bonecrusher Giant, Glorybringer, Lovestruck Beast, and a bunch of friends, including 4 Llanowar Elves and 4 Elvish Mystic, because why not? Next up, we have Orzhov Humans, a black-white deck that packs a punch, has 4 Mutavaults snuck in there to go with a number of Thalias and Thalia's lieutenants, as well as a number of other special humans. And then finally, one of my favorite decks in Pioneer, Izzet Phoenix. I will note on this one that this deck list has 2 expressive iteration in it, which is currently banned in Pioneer. Now, like we've done with previous fixed deck products that had banned cards in them, specifically what we did with Faceless Haven and Stoneforge Mystic, if you play this exact list, this exact 75, same main deck, same sideboard, you can play with those 2 expressive iteration in there. If you change even a single card, then those expressive iterations have to come out. Those decks, again, will be available November 4th at a local game store near you. They are coming out in English, German, French, and Japanese. All right, next up, we have a fun one. Game Nights 3 will be coming out. That is going to release on October 14th. It's called Game Night Free for All. It includes 5 different monocolored decks to play against your friends. We've shown the face cards that you see over on the right there, but we haven't revealed the deck list. So the deck list's also coming out today. So those, again, also available on dailymtg.com. You'll notice that this white deck, Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, not bad inclusions. Next up, we have the blue Political Trickery deck. Got a couple of Impulses. We've got some Fog Banks, a little Counterspell, Factor Fiction action for those of you who've been playing for a while. Next up, we have Black's Dark Sacrifice deck. We've got a couple Lord of Accursed in there, Vilis, Broker of Blood, Ravenous Chupacabra, Priest of the Bloodright. And then next up is the Red Draconic Fury deck. Classic Shivan Dragon to go along with some Abrade and Blazes. Little dragon sub theme here. And then finally the green Boundless Elves deck, which looks pretty spicy from my end. You've got some Beast Whisperer, Elvish Archdruid, a bunch of different elves ready to run over your opponent. So Game Night 3, it is available starting October 14th. Again, head to dailymtg.com after this show for more information on what's all in that box. It's got like spin down counters, life platforms, reference cards, bunch of tokens, that sort of deal. Finally, we are announcing a new product for people just starting out. So starter commander decks are going to be coming out December 2nd. So these are commander decks that are going to be, you know, a lot of the commander decks we release are tied to a set or independent releases. These are going to be around generally and are made to introduce people to the world of Commander. So there are 5 of these 100-card decks, and we are going to show the face cards today. We'll show the full deck list as we get closer to that release on December 2nd. But these cards are going to look familiar to longtime players. So each of the allied 2-color pairs is helmed by a legend from Magic's past. So Asperia, Supreme Judge, Gisin Geralf, Carador, Doomscourge, Atarka, World Render, and Amara, Soul of the Accord. I've had an Amara deck for a while. Card's great. So yeah, those are starter commander decks arriving December 2nd. All right. Let's do the thing. The second thing. The second thing is we have some updates on Dominaria United Alchemy. So, Dominaria United Alchemy is going to be available on October 6th. That is next week. Previews are kicking off, well, actually right now, because we're going to show you a preview of a card in the set called Oracle of the Alpha. So, Oracle of the Alpha, we'll put that up on the screen. 2 and a blue for a creature, Bird Wizard. It is a 2/3. It has flying, and when Oracle of the Alpha enters the battlefield, conjure the power 9 into your library, then shuffle. And when Oracle of the Alpha attacks, scry 1. That means in Arena, if you're playing Alchemy or Historic, you will actually be able to play with the power 9 that are going to look a little something like this. It'll get shuffled into your deck, and you'll draw some. You should play some blue. Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, Time Twister are here. Those are good cards. So the Dominaria United Alchemy drop, like I said, October 6th. It contains 30 cards. Previews will start today through October 3rd. Again, if you head to dailymtg.com, you're going to hear me say that a lot. There is going to be an article about where to find Dominaria United Alchemy previews. And then next week, on October 4th, we're going to have more details on what's next for Alchemy, Historic, and Explorer. Okay, now we're going to do the main event. We're going to talk Brothers War. So the Brothers War is a look back at possibly Magic's most iconic storyline, the war between Urza and Mishra. The Brothers War was the subject of the set Antiquities originally. We got glimpses of Urza and Mishra in Alpha and Beta, but Antiquities started to flesh it out. Now our heroes of today, Teferi, for example, are going to be looking back on that war in order to preserve the present. So we're going to get a modern view of that war. They're going to have to look back in order to figure out how to address the current Phyrexian threat. Now we have a lot for this set coming up, and we're going to throw a calendar up on the screen here in a moment as we scroll through some beautiful. That's all art that is going to appear in the set. All right, here's the calendar that's coming up. So October 4th, that is next Tuesday, 30th anniversary announcement. So I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. October 20th, mark your calendar because that is when the Brothers War story begins. The web fiction that will be again on dailymtg.com. The Building Worlds video, talking about the world building and how our creative team sort of attacked building this set. And then October 27th will be the Brothers War debut video. That is going to lead into the weekend of October 28th through 30th, which, if you aren't aware, is the Magic 30 event in Las Vegas. Now, all of the in-person tickets for that are sold out. We are just going to have a ton of previews at that event. There will be some on the World Championship stream. There will be some that you can view in some of the virtual events. but there's also going to be a ton available on site. Don't worry, we will be sharing some of that information and previews on social media and in various other ways so that you don't feel like you're missing anything. But it's going to be a party at Magic 30, and part of that party is going to be previews. Then we move forward to November 11th. That's when the tabletop pre-release can begin. And in case you missed the news, the tabletop pre-release is going to precede the digital release. Digital release on MTG Arena and Magic the Gathering Online will be November 15th. And then finally, the global release, also my birthday, November 18th for the Brothers War. I'd like to think someone knew that and did that on purpose. And then finally, Commander parties celebrating the Brothers War will take place December 16th through 18th. So I hinted that October 4th announcement was a big one. We are kicking off our 30th anniversary celebration. We've talked about it here and there, but really we are kicking things off next Tuesday at 6 a.m. Pacific time. We're getting an early start over here, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and extrapolated out from there globally. We will be talking all things 30th anniversary. We will be revealing things that won't be public until the end of 2023. We've got some huge announcements coming next Tuesday, so definitely tune in for that. Additionally, part of our 30th anniversary celebration is that when you attend a pre-release, like the Brothers War pre-release that we just talked about, you can get one of these 30th anniversary promos. So these are all looks back, talking at older cards with the year they were printed. So you see Wall of Roots with that 1996 on it, Wood Elves 1997, Windfall, and that is a Loyal Retainers on the far right there in Chinese Simplified. So if you attend a Brothers War pre-release, you can get these promo cards. All right, now we're going to dive into so much Brothers War content, including some stuff I'm really excited for that we have never done before. But we're gonna ease into it. We are gonna start by showing off a good deal of art from the set, because the Brothers War, one of the things it has going for it is this, you're going to meet a lot of familiar names. Some of them you'll meet for the first time, some are on their second iteration, but we're going to see a lot of legends in this set from the stories of old. Now, in the modern times, again, we're seeing this through a sort of modern looking glass, and so that means Teferi is going to be involved if there's any sort of time trickery. So Teferi, Temporal Pilgrim, you can see that's the card name, with art by Magali. We'll learn more about what Teferi's up to as we head towards the story. Also involved, Saheeli, Filigree Master. She's sculpting something that looks sort of familiar there, and we'll find out more about that. But of course, much of the story is going to be focused on the brothers. Here is some art for Mishra, claimed by Gix. And then there's Urza, Lord Protector. Now, it's not just about Urza and Mishra. Of course, their shadow hangs over everything, but so much of this war was about the people around them, the people who were sucked into their conflict, or, in some cases, like our next legend, egged it on. So we are finally going to get a version of Gix, Yawgmoth Praetor, in this set. We are also going to see revisits for characters like Hercule, Master Wizard, and Ashnod, among many, many others. So if there is a character who was involved in the Brothers War, we probably have them involved in this somehow. But of course, all right, of course we have to show off some cards because we wouldn't tease you that way. So we're going to start with some gorgeous basic lands to set the scene. So it's not just about the characters, but about the world around them. And so the Brothers War focuses heavily on the machines of war that the brothers put together to decimate much of Dominaria. And so we have this series of basic lands featuring mechs that were involved in the war. So there's 2 of each basic land type. Full art. You'll notice these are main set lands with the numbering at the bottom. Just gorgeous, gorgeous art. My personal favorite is the plains up in the upper left, but you really can't go wrong with any of these. Now let's transition into some of the promos. So if you participate in a Brothers War game day event, you can get one of these promos. So that on the left is Surge Engine. For 2 colorless, or 2 of any kind of mana, you get a 3/2 artifact creature construct with Defender. For a blue mana, Surge Engine loses Defender and gains this creature can't be blocked. For 2 in a blue, Surge Engine becomes blue and has base power and toughness 5/4. Activate only if Surge Engine doesn't have Defender. And then finally, some of the best cards in best words in Magic. I'm getting ahead of myself. 4 and 2 blue, draw 3 cards. Activate only if Surge Engine is blue and only once. And then we have Recruitment Officer. So if drawing cards isn't really your thing, too bad. This one kind of draws cards as well. But it is a single white mana for a 2/1 creature human soldier with an activated ability, 3 and a white. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with mana value 3 or less from among them. Put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So you'll play a 2/1 for a single white mana anyway. You might as well get some cards out of it as well. And of course, both of these cards are going to be in the main set as well. So here's what Surge Engine looks like in the main set on the left and in that extended art version that is exclusive to collector boosters on the right. And then here is what Recruitment Officer looks like in the main set. And it's an uncommon, so it does not have that extended art. Now, if you purchase a box at your local game store, the Buy a Box promo for this set is pretty spicy, and this is something we're going to see more of. This is a new card from the set, Mishra's Foundry, but it is in the retro frame. So Mishra's Foundry is a land that taps to add a single colorless mana. And then for 2, Mishra's Foundry becomes a 2/2 Assembly Worker artifact creature until end of turn. It is still a land. And then for a single mana and tap it, target attacking Assembly Worker gets +2/+2 until end of turn. This is, of course, a callback to and a sort of combination with Mishra's Factory, one of the original creature lands. That's going to be pretty powerful in a lot of different formats. This, of course, is in the main set as well. So you see the main set version on the left and the extended version on the right. All right, next up, we've talked a little bit about Legends from back in that time. We're going to be this. If you purchase a bundle, the promo to come in the bundle is a retro frame Queen Kayla Bin Krug. So this is a card from the main set. It is a 2/3 for a white, a red, and 1 legendary creature human noble. The ability is 4 and tap, discard all the cards in your hand, then draw that many cards. You may choose an artifact or creature card with mana value 1 you discarded this way, then do the same for artifact or creature cards with mana values 2 and 3. Return those cards to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. So you might be familiar with Queen Kayla Bin Krug through flavor text, but this is an actual depiction of this character. Now, of course, she's also in the main set as well, in her regular and extended version, not with the retro frame. Now, Queen Kayla Bin Krug, super cool character to have around, but the Urza and Mishra of this set had to, of course, be epic. They are characters that loom large above all of Magic's history. And so when you think of looming large, something may come to mind. So we are going to look at 3 preview cards coming up that are kind of one. The Mightstone and the Weakstone, if you're familiar with the story, play a huge role in what came to define Urza and Mishra. And so this next card combines the two for the first time. The Mightstone and the Weakstone is a 5-mana artifact. It is a legendary artifact, Power Stone. When the Mightstone and the Weakstone enters the battlefield, choose one. Draw 2 cards. I know what I'm choosing. Target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn, and you can tap it to add 2 colorless, and the mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells. But your eyes went to that last line there that says melds with Urza Lord Protector. Let's take a look at Urza Lord Protector. Here he is. We saw the art for Urza Lord Protector earlier. 1, a white and a blue for a legendary creature, Human Artificer. Artifact, instant, and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. It is a 2/4. And then for 7 mana, if you both own and control Urza Lord Protector and an artifact named the Mightstone and the Weakstone, exile them, then meld them into Urza Planeswalker Activate only as a sorcery. This now depicts the moment that Urza became a Planeswalker. So for the first time, we are going to get Planeswalker version of Urza at the height of his power. Let's see it. When those 2 cards flip over and combine, and it's so hard to show how big and cool this truly is on the battlefield. But Urza Planeswalker, legendary Planeswalker Urza, has 7 loyalty. The static ability, you may activate the loyalty abilities of Urza Planeswalker twice each turn rather than only once. And then it has a whopping 5 abilities because you can capture that on a melded card. +2, artifact, instant, and sorcery spells you cast this turn cost 2 less to cast. You gain 2 life. +1, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. 0 mana, create 2 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature tokens. -3, exile target non-land permanent. -10, artifacts and planeswalkers you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Destroy all non-land permanents. So Urza Planeswalker certainly living up to his destructive presence and standing tall. Now, we wouldn't just do one meld card in this set, but we're not showing it today. Of course, we have more to reveal from Brothers War later on. If you want to know what Mishra looks like in that form, you're going to have to tune in October 4th, where we will be sharing Mishra's melded form. Now, that doesn't mean we're done showing off cards for today. We are actually going to go over one of my favorite things about this set, which are the commander decks. So we could not make 2 commander decks for this set without them being helmed by Urza and Mishra. We already saw what we can do with Urza to make that super cool, so we had to come up with something even more amazing, or at least just as amazing, depending on your perspective, for the commander decks. So here's what we did. Both commander decks are entirely retro framed. New cards, reprints, everything has a retro frame, including cards that have never been printed in it before. So let's take a look at the 2 face cards and what those look like. We've got Urza Chief Artificer. So Urza Chief Artificer on the left and in the center are the 2 versions you will get in the pre-constructed commander deck. The extended version on the far right is the one that will show up in Collector Booster. So Urza Chief Artificer is 3, a white, a blue, and a black for a 4/5. It has affinity for artifact creatures. Artifact creatures you control have menace. And at the beginning of your end step, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact your control, also known as a construct. Next up, Mishra. For those of you freaking out over the retro frame, just hold on. Mishra, Eminent One, 2, a blue, a black, and a red for a legendary creature, Human Artificer, 5/4. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of target non-creature artifact you control, except its name is Mishra Warform, and it's a 4/4 construct artifact creature in addition to its other types. It gains haste until end of turn and sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. So Mishra turns your artifacts into artifact creatures for the turn. Now, I said to hold on, and I said the entire deck was printed in the retro frame. Let's see some of those cards right now. So it is going to contain, for example, Reliquary Tower, Soul Ring, and Command Tower in the retro frame. Now, of course, these show up in essentially every commander deck that we print. And I know a lot of people are going to be excited to get these retro frame cards, including me. I have an entire retro frame white-blue deck. Now let's show 3 more that are not necessarily in every deck. So that is a retro frame Preordain, a retro frame Skull Clamp, and yes, a retro frame with that old gold border, Baleful Strix. Yeah, my heart skipped a beat when I saw these. It's doing a little dance right now when I look at them. I am going to want all of these. So again, both entire commander decks are in this retro frame as we are looking back at Magic's past. Now, we are not going to reveal more cards for these 2 decks called Urza's Iron Alliance and Mishra's Burnished Banner. You will notice that it also includes the Collector Booster Sample Pack, which has 2 additional cards in it. The rest of these commander decks are going to be revealed at Magic 30 on Friday evening. So we are going to be seeing much, much more of those. All right, additionally, oh, we're not done. We're not done. So much more cool stuff. Brothers War will have Jumpstart packs as well, so we'll throw that packaging up there so we can take a look at that. Sorry, Gix fans, we are not showing off Gix today. Not today. This set has so much going for it, including Jumpstart. There will be plenty of time for all of that. All right, next up, I know there have been rumors to this end, so we're going to talk through another way that this set is looking back at Magic's past. We have a couple different versions of some retro artifacts that will be found throughout the set. So what we're going to show you can be found in draft, set, and collector boosters. They are not standard legal, and you can tell because they'll have a different symbol on them. So let's show some of these retro artifacts. So let's start with Ivory Tower, an old classic. So Ivory Tower hasn't been around for a while, but believe it or not, this card was once actually restricted in what was then called Type 2. So the retro frame, some old art, some will have original art, some will have newer art. This is not the original Ivory Tower art, but it has been around for a while. Now there is a second version of these, and again, these can be found in draft, set, and collector boosters for the Brothers War. These are a special set of retro frame artifacts that show off the schematics as if these are being designed by an artificer. So this is what the Ivory Tower schematic will look like. Next up, another old classic. We have Jalem Tome. So this is what the original and the retro schematic version look like. And then before we show you the next one, we have done something a little bit special as well. We just keep piling special on top of special on top of special for this. So for the first time in a Magic Booster product, we're actually introducing serialized versions of cards that are going to exist otherwise. So basically what we're doing is we're taking the retro schematic cards, and there is a special serialized version which will feature what we're calling the double rainbow foiling, and those are going to be exclusive to collector boosters. So let's throw up the next screen. So there on the right you can see what an example of what a serialized version looks like. It's going to have that foiling and it's going to have that numbering on it. They are for each of the retro schematic cards that has a number on it is going to be out of 500. So there will be only 500 of that serialized Wurmcoil Engine. Now, again, if you like the art, it does show up in that schematic version. The art is not different, but the foiling is different and the number is different. So that is the first time we have done that in a booster product, which is pretty exciting. Also worth noting is that we are not done with Brothers War this weekend. So upcoming, starting tomorrow, is PulseCon. So PulseCon is Hasbro's showcase of everything that Hasbro does, including Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering's panel is on Saturday, but you might see us a little bit tomorrow as well if you're paying attention. But otherwise, tune in Saturday. For more details on PulseCon, head to pulse.com and you can learn more. We will be showing off some more Brothers War information there. And of course, there will be more Brothers information on October 4th. So let's circle back around to the calendar, just as a reminder of everything that is coming up. So October 4th, again, set your calendar, set your alarm clock, 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Eastern time, etc., etc. If you follow us on social media, we'll do reminders. 30th anniversary announcements. We are going to be sharing a ton of stuff related to the 30th anniversary, including some pretty jaw-dropping announcements. We will, again, share more about Brothers War there as well. October 20th, the story begins. So you'll learn about how the heroes of today are heading to the past in order to right the wrongs of the Phyrexians. October 20th will also feature the Building Worlds video, which visits with our creative team on how they created the rich tapestry that is the Brothers War set. And then October 27th kicks off the Brothers War debut and previews, many of which will be featured at Magic 30, October 28th through 30th. Virtual tickets for that are still on sale. You can also follow us on social media or dailymtg.com for preview updates throughout that weekend. And then pre-releases begin November 11th. You can play digitally on November 15th. And then the global release, my birthday present to me, November 18th. Followed by Commander parties, December 16th and 18th. Okay, that's it. That is all the new stuff that we are going to reveal. Now, I did move through that quickly enough. That only took half an hour. Go me. So I will stick around and see if there are questions on the chat. Is there a borderless booster fun version of Urza and the Might Weak Stone? We showed every card we previewed today. We showed all versions of it. Moving fast, chat. Can the non-serialized Wurmcoil Engine be in all boosters? Yes. So they are found in draft set and collector boosters. When can we expect the next Explorer anthology? So, as I said earlier in the show, if you want to learn more about where Explorer is going, you might want to tune in October 4th. Yeah. How will serialization be handled regarding localization? They're all out of 500. Just 500. When will Warhammer Secret Layers be previewed? Coming up soon. Coming up soon. Phyrexian Dreadnoughts were in the story over and over. Can we expect a reference on a card? I'm not going to speak to specific references, but this set is full of references to old cards, old mechanics, old story beats, because it is retelling an old story through a modern lens. Can you tell us about the rainbow foiling and how you would describe it? I think it's easier to show it off than to try to muddle through words about it. So we will have, as we get closer to the set release, some images that we will share. I'm doing this like I'm feeling it. We'll share some images on social media and on the website. Let's see. What does green do in this set? It seems lacking compared to the other colors. So green is plenty represented in this set. Now, the reason you're not seeing green here is because Urza's not green, Mishra's not green. And for this show, we concentrated a lot on Urza and Mishra. Green is very represented. In fact, on that October 4th, October 4th show, Mark Rosewater addresses that specifically a little bit. So tune in on October 4th. Can you share the Hasbro PulseCon link? I believe if you just go to, I think it's just pulse.com, I'm pretty sure. I think it's just pulse.com. Nope, it's not. It is not. All right, one sec. Let me... It is, yeah, it's HasbroPulse.com. HasbroPulse.com. There we go. Are the land stations going to have full art lands? I honestly don't know. Honestly do not know. Will the retro frame commander deck cards be available in foil or only non-foil? Only non-foil. So the retro artifacts are similar to Strixhaven Mystic Archives, right? They are similar, but not exactly the same. In that you can get them in all types of packs, but the distribution's not quite the same. Can you hint at any playable reprints of older cards in Brothers War? I'm not going to hint at any, except to say there are some. There are some. I had some eyebrows raised when I saw them on the list. The serialized cards are artifacts only, or can they be cards in the set? They are artifacts only. They are specifically those schematic artifacts. Those are the ones that are serialized, and there will be a serialized version of each of those schematic artifacts. Is Urza available in foil? Are both sides of the card foil? Yes. What do set boosters get for this set? So you'll want to tune in to Daily MTG on the 27th when we have several articles that go through exactly the contents of the set. Are there any common meld cards in this set for us Pauper fans? I will say now, no, there are not. That's when I can answer, because Mark answers it on Tuesday as well. Does Urza and the Power Stone have partner in Commander? You know what? If you and your friends say yes, go for it. But that's up to you. Official rules, no. But you know what? You do you, bud. You do you. Is the Mishra Meld a Planeswalker as well? You will have to tune in on Tuesday to see the Mishra card. I will note that I don't believe Mishra was ever a Planeswalker, though. Will Gix get a Phyrexian language version like the new Praetors? Stay tuned. What is the coolest thing you haven't told us today about Brothers War that you can tell us without getting in trouble? I don't think there is a thing. Honestly, like the retro frame artifacts or the retro frame commander decks are one of the coolest things in the set. Now, again, there is a whole cool thing to tune in to PulseCon this weekend. PulseCon's virtual, super easy to attend. Head to HasbroPulse.com, and that'll have all the information. That's where you can learn more. And I'll even tell you some more next Tuesday, 6 a.m. Twitch.tv/magic. Will we see any Phyrexian mana symbols in the set? Maybe. Who knows? So for all the questions about how it's going to work in Historic, stay tuned. The Arena regular blog will have more information about that. I'm not sharing that today. Will Shadows over Innistrad have a remastered set release on Arena? Maybe. Is Gix mono black? Maybe. I should probably find some questions I can answer, but I want to acknowledge that these are questions. Is the Tuesday show pre-recorded? You know what? I'll say yes, it is. We've already recorded it. It's very, very exciting. Let's see. Any plans to release more borderless art cards? So those are still in set boosters, as far as I know. Can you address Modern soon? Not my area, but as soon as R&D tells me to communicate something, we'll communicate it. I see a lot of Gix fans out there. Lord of the Ring card reveals when? We're a ways off from that still. Can you give me a rough estimate of how many meld cards we can expect? 3. Are you going to reveal other news on the Hasbro event, the Pulse event, Hasbro Pulse this weekend, besides this set? Yes, we are. How often do you play Magic? A lot. I don't want to say every day because it's not, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I've been playing Magic for a really long time. Let's see. The questions about expeditions or inventions, I think that's referring to like the bonus sheety sort of thing. That's what the retro frame artifacts are. So the Ivory Tower, the Jalem Tome. If you head to dailymtg.com, I will say that the article recapping everything we talked about this stream has a lot of that information. It also has a bonus card from that retro schematic space. There's an additional card on there. Head to dailymtg.com to get it. It's a little tease. Can you reveal your favorite color? No, I can't. Let's see. Do you like Modern or Pioneer? Yes. Yes. What is my favorite card? It's Muldrifter. I mean, I have a lot of favorite cards, but probably Muldrifter. What are the odds probability that you will encounter a serialized card in a collector booster? So I do not know those off the top of my head and don't have them in front of me. But again, if you come back to dailymtg.com on the 27th, we will have collecting articles and product overview articles that will go into all those details on how often and how frequently things show up. But I will say 500 is not a big number. If you got to add a 6th color to Magic, what color would it be? We have a secret 6th color. It's colorless. That's not even a joke. It's kind of it was retro shoehorned into the game in a quite clever way. Let's see. Are the arena and paper draft formats identical for Brothers War? I don't know how to answer that because draft formats in Arena are already... No, honestly, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. If you're asking, are you going to be able to draft the retro artifacts? Stay tuned. So the Arena blog will cover all of the details on how everything works on Arena. So stay tuned for that. I know that they'll update a lot of that starting next week through the release of Brothers War. You'll learn more about how it all works on Arena. Approximately how many Planeswalkers are in the set? Wait and see. Wait and see. What's your favorite art that you revealed in the set? I honestly, I wasn't joking. I really love that Plains. If we want to show them, throw the mech artifacts, not artifacts, the mech basic lands, that upper left Plains, it just does something for me. You know, I'm a big Islands fan, but I really love that Plains in the upper left. Huge fan. Explorer Anthology 2, question mark? I would suggest tuning in next week on October 4th. Let's see, what else can I answer? If DAC is completed, DAC's dead, sorry. Is the retro frame the showcase card art? Not specifically. So when we talk about showcase cards for a set. We're talking about like special treatments for a wide swath of cards. That's not how Brothers War is set up specifically. So it's not like all rares are going to have a retro frame version. Is Gix more than one color? Stay tuned. No question, just wanted to say Bro is an amazing set code. Totally agree. 100% agree. It's really weird to say in very serious meetings about, oh yeah, what about Bro? We're talking about Bro? Yeah, okay. When will we get more Wizards HR skits? Great question. Great question. I'll pass that on to our video team. Great question here. November 15th is a Tuesday. On Arena, new sets are usually released on a Thursday. Is this a new thing? So yes, it is a new thing for specifically these releases that are coming after Tabletop for the next 3 Premier set releases. So for Brothers War, for March of the Machine, and for Phyrexia, all will be one. Where this is an extended test. So we did this test back a bit ago. I'm forgetting which set it was. But we did that test where the Arena release came after the Tabletop pre-release. We are repeating that test for 3 sets in a row now to learn a little bit more. And as part of that, the digital release is happening on a Tuesday instead of a Thursday. So yes, great eye, November 15th is a Tuesday. That is in fact the correct date. Is Teferi spectating or actually there in the past? You are going to have to tune into Magic Story on October 20th to see exactly how Teferi is revisiting the Brothers War. I will say he's not doing it on his own. He can't just travel through time. He needs a little bit of help. How can we refer to the retro artifact sheet? It sounds like you figured out how to do it, the retro artifact sheet. Is there a Teferi in the set? Stay tuned. Will the new commander cards that are printed in old border also be available in regular border? So, Sean, if you can put Urza Chief Artificer up there, this will show. So now the face cards are special in that they get that extra little special foil version. So there are multiple versions of a face card in each set. So ignore that middle one when you're talking about all of the cards in the set. If something is one of the new commander cards, it will get that retro version that's in the commander deck. And then if you want a non-retro version, the extended art version that is found in collector boosters will be the other option. Will there be new to modern reprints in Bro? Maybe. Maybe. I'm trying to remember if something's actually new to modern or not. Maybe. I'm not ruling it out. How about that? Are there any new worms in this set? Does Worm Coil Engine not count? Is there a set code? I've seen a 3-letter code, set code for the retro artifacts. I don't think there's a separate one. I'm pretty sure it's still just Bro. But I could be wrong about that. Yes, can I clarify if the serialized cards are actually numbered or will they all be the same stamp of 1 out of 500? No, they will be numbered. So there will be like a 301 out of 500. Will Phyrexian Tribal be a viable deck in the next few sets? Maybe. Maybe. The retro artifacts will not be standard legal. Just to make that clear again. Secret Lair Muldrifter Edition when? You know, we have gotten Muldrifter in a Secret Lair. I don't know if the Secret Lair team likes me that much that they would just print like 5 Muldrifters in a box or 4 or whatever. But we'll see. Maybe for my 10-year anniversary in a couple years. Where do you get the serialized cards? The serialized cards for Brothers War are exclusive to collector boosters. I see the questions about DMU Alchemy and DMU Mastery on Arena. I don't actually know the answer to that. Your best source is going to either be to go to the MTG Arena Twitter account or to look for the Arena blog coming up. Can you get another maybe? Maybe. That one's hard because the answer to that is obviously yes. Are there any new characters in Brothers War? So here's why this one's tough for me to answer. I could look at a card and be like, oh yeah, that's a new card. And then I bring Ethan Fleischer in here and he's like, no, actually that character was in a Brothers War comic book found in 1995 on page 32 in panel 5. He was there for about 30 seconds, but he's very important. So characters might be new to me and not actually new. Once the set's out, we'll have to ask Jay and Ellie to run through all the legends. Am I stealing the maybe from Morrow? You know what? He's been doing this Magic Communications thing much longer than I have. I could do much worse than stealing from Morrow. Are you going to pick Urza or Mishra for your pre-release? How does that work? No. There are going to be Urza and Mishra like packaging options, but it doesn't change the contents of the box. Will the extended art modern frame Urza from Commander deck in the collector boosters have a foil version? Based on history, I would think the answer is yes, but I do not know that for sure. Your best bet is to check out the collecting and product overview articles that will come out on October 27th. Let's see. Are they going to build a time machine? You'll just have to tune in on October 20th for Magic Story. Would you become a farmer? No, I wouldn't be good at it. Very random question, but no, I would not. Are the retro artifact cards legal in limited? Yes. Any cards that you open up in limited, you can play and draft. Heads I win, tails you lose update. I actually do not have an update on that. I've seen several questions about bans in various formats. I don't have any ban information today. Are the Bro Set boosters going to have the Walking Dead Secret Lair in-universe reprints? I do not believe so. I believe I would have been told if that was the case. Are the schematic cards available in foil without the serial number? I am not 100% on that. I could look it up real quick, but I'm going to leave it as I'm not 100% sure, and so I'm not going to say. I believe I know, but I don't want to set poor expectations, and we can find a way to answer that later. In your wildest dreams 10 years ago, did you think we would ever see a Brothers War set? Or is this something that's been in the works for a long time? I mean, it's been in the works for, I would think, like the normal amount of time set development goes. Now, that said, set development can take a while. And, you know, I'm sure Mark Rosewater will talk about the development of a Brothers War set in his articles, his preview articles, his articles that come after it. 10 years ago, I don't think this set was a twinkle in anyone's eye. I don't think. Maybe it was, but certainly years ago. Are you reprinting the old Brothers War novels? I don't believe so, but that's also not... if it's happening, I don't know about it. How about that? Will the rest of... Great question. Will the rest of the Painlands be in Brothers War? We have actually said this publicly. Yes, they will be. So there were 6 in Dominaria United. The remaining 4 will be in Brothers War. And actually, Ethan Fleischer, great follow on Twitter, he explained why the Painlands ended up where they were in each set. I am long past my days of being able to answer chemistry questions. When is the next B&R announcement? I do not have a date for anything like that. When will we have news on upcoming secret layers? I will say some news on that is coming up. That was a cheeky answer, and I apologize. Is Bro your favorite set code, or is there a cooler one? I mean, that's kind of a funnily worded question because I also like the set code 1, which is the set code for Phyrexia All Will Be One. Any plans for more infect creatures? Maybe, I don't know. Can you hint at next week's show since it seems spicy too? Man, I have been hinting at it. 30th anniversary. We are going to talk about things that go through the end of 2023. We are going to have news on all kinds of things. My guests are Mark Rosewater and Elaine Chase. That's how seriously we took this show. We brought in 2 people who have been at Wizards of the Coast collectively for 50 years. They know all the things about all the things. That's how seriously we took it. Huge show. We're starting off the day with it. We're all getting up early to do this. 6 a.m. Pacific time because we are that excited to jump into it. Let's see. Yeah, so it is quite spicy. What color identity is Mightstone and Weakstone in Commander? That is something that will be in the rules fact when it comes out. Yeah, I don't actually know the answer how that works with meld cards. Will Bro bring Ornithopter to Standard? Well, there's a card in Dominaria United that makes an Ornithopter token, so technically Ornithopter's already in Standard. Does the Tuesday show replace the Thursday show next week? Yeah, we've been doing that a lot lately. Just kind of the way things have fallen. I enjoy talking to all you folks, so I'm happy to be back in the studio live this week. But yes, next week's Tuesday show replaces the Thursday show next week. Will Mark Rosewater be completed? You assume he hasn't been already. Are you happy with the current identity of Magic in its universe? I am. I am. Let's see. Any new merfolk? Maybe. All right, I think we are running out of questions that I can answer, and we've only got about 2 minutes left, so I'm going to call it there. Thank you for all of your questions. Thank you for tuning in today. Make sure that you head over to HasbroPulse.com for a full schedule for PulseCon this weekend. Now, in addition, Magic will be on Saturday. We'll have our panel on Saturday where we'll reveal a bunch of stuff. But there are also a bunch of other cool Hasbro things revealing things throughout the weekend. I'm not privy to all of them, but if you're fans of things like G.I. Joe, Starting Lineup, Transformers, those panels are obviously going to share some cool things about those sort of brands. And then again, Wizards of the Coast Magic the Gathering is going to be on Saturday. And then, as I've said a few times, make sure to set your alarm, your clock, your phone, whatever it is, for 6 a.m. Pacific Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Time next Tuesday, October 4th, for a 30th anniversary roundup of announcements that is definitely going to blow your socks off. So thank you for tuning in this week. I've been Blake, and we will see you next Tuesday.